I'll never forget that frigid December morning, 2 days before Christmas, when his eyes locked onto mine in the chaos of St. Mary's Hospital ER. The monitors beeped relentlessly, tinsel sparkled mockingly on the walls, and the air smelled of antiseptic and desperation. He was just a homeless man to everyone else, slumped in a corner with a threadbare coat and a face carved with stories no one bothered to read. But when I knelt to clean the gash on his hand, his trembling fingers brushed mine, and he whispered, "You're kinder than you know." I didn't realize then that he wasn't just another patient. I didn't know he held the secret to the hospital I'd given my life to. I've always believed everyone deserves care, maybe because I know what it's like to feel unseen. Growing up, my father's absence was a shadow that clung to me, a wound no amount of nursing could heal. As I bandaged this man's hand, feeling the familiar ache of wanting to fix what's broken, I saw something flicker in his eyes, a spark of recognition, like he knew me, or I should have known him. His worn leather wallet, embossed with a chi, faded E, caught my eye, and a chill ran through me. Why did it feel like fate had pulled us together in that crowded ER? What I couldn't have known was that this man, with his raspy voice and haunted gaze, was about to unravel a truth that would threaten everything I'd built: my career, my beliefs, my heart. One act of kindness was all it took to set it in motion. What was he hiding behind those tired eyes? And why did it feel like my whole world hung in the balance? This is a story of compassion, secrets, and the people who change us when we least expect it. If you've ever felt invisible or believed in the power of a single moment, join me on this journey. Like, comment with your own stories of kindness, and subscribe to Uncover the Truth with me. Because sometimes, the people we help end up saving us. The ER's fluorescent lights sear my retinas as I shove through the double doors, the air thick with the sharp bite of antiseptic and the metallic tang of blood. It's December 23rd, and St. Mary's Hospital is a war zone. Stretchers clattering like bones, voices barking orders over the wail of a distant monitor. The tinsel draped across the nurse's station glitters mockingly, a cruel nod to Christmas. Cheer in a place where hope feels like a rumor. I'm Ellie, a nurse who spent years stitching up wounds, mine and others, and tonight, the chaos feels like it's clawing at my skin. In the corner, half hidden by a sagging curtain, AE. Man hunches, his coat a tattered map of holes, the kind of thing you'd find in a dumpster behind a thrift store. His hands, gnarled and trembling, clutch a leather wallet, its faded E catching the light like a secret begging to be told. I pause, my breath catching, because his eyes, God, those eyes, lock onto mine. They're not begging, not broken, but piercing, like he's waiting for me to see something I've buried deep, something I don't want to name. It's not just pain in his gaze. It's a question, heavy and unspoken, and it hooks into me, pulling tight. I kneel beside him, my hands steady despite the tremor in my chest, and start cleaning a gash on his palm, the blood crusting like rust. His fingers brush mine, calloused but warm, alive in a way that sends a jolt through me, like touching a live wire. "You're kinder than you know," he whispers, his voice gravelly but steady, each word landing like a stone in still water. My throat tightens, and I feel exposed, like he's seen the scars I carry. Not the ones on my skin, but the ones etched into my heart, from years of waiting for a father who never came back. Karen, my supervisor, snaps from across the room. "Ellie, move it. He's just a drifter." Her voice is sharp, dismissive, but it feels hollow against the weight of his gaze, like she's shouting into a void. I ignore her, my hands working the bandage, but then I see it. A frayed hospital badge slipping from his pocket, the name smudged but the word chairman stark and clear. My heart skips, a cold sweat prickling my neck. Chairman? Here, in this forgotten corner of the ER? It doesn't make sense, but it's real. And it's enough to make the air feel heavier, like the moment before a storm breaks. I finish bandaging his hand. My fingers unsteady now and step back, the room spinning. Slightly. His eyes don't leave mine, and I feel the weight of a secret I'm not ready to face, a truth that's been waiting in the shadows. It's like he's holding a mirror to my soul, showing me the parts I've tried to forget, the loneliness, the need to fix what's broken. What is it about a stranger's eyes that can unravel everything you thought you knew? I walk away, but his gaze follows, and I know this moment, this man, is going to change everything. The ER's chaos fades to a low hum, but the man's face clings to my mind like damp snow, those piercing eyes cutting through the glitter of tinsel strung above my station. It's December 23rd, and St. Mary's feels like a lie. Christmas lights twinkling while patients moan and monitors scream. I'm Ellie, a nurse who's spent years trying to outrun the emptiness my dad left behind, and tonight, that emptiness feels like it's staring back at me through the eyes of a stranger. I steal a glance at him, still in his corner, his tattered coat blending into the shadows. He's tracing the tinsel with his gaze, lips curling into a bitter half-smile, like it's mocking a memory he's buried deep. It's not just sadness, it's something sharper, like he's laughing at the hospital's attempt to dress up its despair. I grip his chart, handed to me by Karen, my supervisor, who mutters, "John Doe, no ID, no history." The words feel wrong, too clean, like someone scrubbed him out of existence. My fingers brush the scar on my wrist, a nervous tick from childhood, when Dad's absence was a blade that carved deeper with every broken promise. In my pocket, the badge I slipped from his coat burns like a coal. It's a reckless move, stupid even, but my gut screams it's a clue to who he is, someone more than a drifter. I tell myself it's nothing, just a frayed piece of plastic, but my pulse races, and I can't shake the feeling that I've stolen something dangerous. A memory hits, unbidden. Dad promising to take me to the hospital's Christmas gala, my dress too big, my heart too full of hope. He never showed, and I stood alone, the tinsel above me glittering like a cruel joke. I blink, and the ER snaps back, the man's whisper echoing, "Kinder than you know." A doctor yells for me, pulling me back to the present, but his voice lingers, low and steady, like a warning I can't decode. I glance at him again, and he's still watching, his eyes tracking me like he knows I've got his badge, like he's waiting for me to make a move. At home, I collapse onto my couch, the badge heavy in my hand, but something else catches my eye. A crumpled hospital flyer, not mine, tucked into my coat. Scrawled on it in faded ink, EH. My breath catches, my hands trembling. Who left it there? Was it him or someone else watching me? The room feels smaller now, the walls pressing in, and I'm standing on the edge of something vast, something that could swallow me whole. That EH is a hook, pulling me toward a truth I'm not sure I want to face. My dad's absence taught me to fear the unknown, but this man, this badge, this flyer, they're pulling me toward it anyway. I'm not just a nurse anymore. I'm a keeper of secrets, and I don't know if they're his or mine. The tinsel's glitter fades in my mind, replaced by his eyes, and I wonder if I'm chasing a ghost or becoming one. Midnight wraps the ER in a heavy hush, the tinsel now dim, casting long shadows across the linoleum. The badge in my pocket is a live wire sparking with every step that faded E burning into my thoughts. It's December 23rd, and St. Mary's Hospital feels like a house holding its breath, waiting for a scream. I'm Ellie, a nurse who's spent years patching wounds, but tonight, I'm unraveling something that might tear me apart. In the break room, I pull out the badge, my hands shaking under the flickering fluorescent light. The name is smudged, but I make out Edward Chairman, and my stomach lurches, a cold sweat prickling my skin. Chairman? In that tattered coat, with those haunted eyes? It's impossible, but the word stares back, undeniable. a rumor surfaces. One I've heard whispered in the halls, Edward Harlan, St. Mary's owner, who vanished after a tragedy nobody dares name. His name is a ghost story here, a warning to leave the past alone. Alone. Back in the ER, he's still there, sipping the coffee I brought, his eyes tracking me like he knows I'm peeling back his mask. They're not just eyes, they're a challenge, daring me to see the truth he's buried. I overhear Karen muttering to another nurse about budget cuts, how the hospital's bleeding out because the owner disappeared. Her words land like a punch, tying that man in the corner to the chaos threatening my world. I approach him, my voice barely above a whisper, and ask, "What's your name?" He leans close, his breath warm, and says, "Names are just ghosts when you've lost what matters." His voice is soft but heavy, like stones sinking in a river. His words hit too close, stirring memories of Dad's voice, promising he'd come back. Each lie a nail in my heart. I see myself at 10, waiting in that too-big dress, the hospital's Christmas gala lights mocking my hope. My chest aches, the old wound splitting open, and I wonder if this man sees it, the girl I was, the woman I'm trying to be. I slip the badge back into his coat when he turns away, my hands trembling. Not because I'm afraid of him, but because I'm afraid of what he means. Is he Harlan? Is he the key to saving this place or destroying it? The ER hums around me, but it's distant, like I'm underwater. His eyes linger in my mind, and that E feels like a hook, pulling me toward a truth I'm not ready to face. I'm a nurse, trained to fix what's broken, but this feels like something that could break me. When someone's absence shapes your life, how do you face the ghosts they leave behind? Tell me, have you ever carried a wound that won't heal? I step back into the chaos, the badge gone but its weight still heavy, and I know this night has changed me forever. Dawn creeps through the ER's windows, painting the linoleum with pale, fractured light, but it doesn't touch the cold knot in my chest. It's December 23rd, and St. Mary's Hospital feels like a house of cards, trembling under the weight of secrets. I'm Ellie, a nurse who's always fixed what's broken, but now I'm chasing a ghost named Edward Harlan, and his eyes, those piercing, haunted eyes, are everywhere, even when he's gone. I check the patient log at my station, the tinsel, above me glinting like a cruel reminder of Christmas. He's gone, discharged, but no one saw him leave, and his charts vanished, like he was a mirage. My fingers brush the scar on my wrist, a reflex from years of carrying Dad's absence, and I feel the badge's absence in my pocket, returned to him but still burning in my mind. I ask Karen about Harlan, my voice low but her face pales, and she snaps, "Leave the past alone, Ellie." Her words are sharp, laced with fear, and I wonder what she's hiding, or who she's protecting. At home, I collapse onto my couch, the city's hum muffled by snow. I pull up my laptop, searching for Edward Harlan, my hands shaking as articles load. St. Mary's founder, a man who built this hospital, then vanished after his daughter's death, a tragedy that broke him. A photo appears, younger, polished, but those eyes, the same haunted gaze, stare back at me, undeniable. My pulse races, the room tilting. It's him, the man from the corner, and the truth feels like a splinter under my skin, sharp and deep. Sarah. My roommate notices my trembling hands and asks, "Ellie, what's wrong?" I lie, saying it's just work, but her worried eyes mirror mine, and I feel the weight of keeping this secret alone. That night, I dream of him, standing in the snow outside St. Mary's, his voice a low rasp. "You're digging too deep, Ellie." I wake with a start, my phone buzzing on my nightstand. A text from an unknown number glows in the dark. "Stop, or you'll regret it." My heart pounds, the words a cold blade against my throat. Who knows I'm searching? Harlan? Or someone else watching from the shadows? The apartment feels too small. the walls closing in, and I'm back in that childhood dress, waiting for Dad under the hospital's tinsel, hope curdling into despair. The truth about Harlan is a thread I can't stop pulling, even if it unravels. Everything. My job, my sanity, my heart. I'm not just a nurse anymore. I'm a hunter, chasing a truth that might destroy me. The snow outside my window falls heavier now, and I wonder if I'm digging my own grave or someone else's. The light fractures, and I'm left in the dark, clutching a secret that's already changing me. The ER feels hollow, like a house after a funeral. The tinsel dangling above my station, a cruel mockery of Christmas Eve's approach. It's December 23rd, and St. Mary's Hospital is a maze of pain and secrets, and I'm Ellie, a nurse who spent years trying to fix the unfixable. Edward Harlan's absence is louder than his presence, his eyes haunting me, pulling me into a darkness I can't escape. A teenage patient, her eyes wide with fear, tugs at my heart. She's me at that age, lost, waiting for someone to care. I stay late, holding her hand, whispering reassurances, but her trembling mirrors my own, and I feel Dad's absence like a fresh cut. Karen corners me as I leave the girl's bed, her voice low and sharp. "Stop asking about Harlan, Ellie, or you'll lose everything." Her eyes dart, fear flickering like a warning light, and I wonder if she's protecting the hospital or herself. I nod, but my chest tightens, defiance burning beneath my fear. In my locker, I find a note, scrawled in jagged ink. Old Wing, midnight. No name, but I know it's him, and my pulse races, torn between dread and a need to know. The Old Wing is a ghost of St. Mary's, its halls abandoned, dust thick in the air. I go anyway, my flashlight trembling, each step echoing like a heartbeat. The darkness feels alive, watching, and I'm not sure if I'm the hunter or the prey. He's there, in the shadows, his tattered coat unchanged, but his stance prouder, like a man shedding a disguise. "You shouldn't have cared, Ellie," he says, his voice low, heavy with a weight I can't name. "It's dangerous." His words are a warning, but they land like a confession, and I freeze, caught in his gaze, those eyes that see too much, know too much. I want to ask about the badge, about Chairman, about why he's here, but my voice catches, trapped, in the space between fear and need. His hand twitches, like he wants to reach out, but he doesn't, and the air between us crackles with unspoken truths. Footsteps echo down the hall, a security guard, and Harlan slips into the shadows, silent, as a ghost, leaving me alone with the echo of his warning. My flashlight shakes, the beam cutting through the dust, but he's gone, and I'm left with questions that burn hotter than answers. What does it cost to care when it pulls you into a stranger's darkness? Have you ever helped someone and felt their secrets cling to you like damp snow? I stumble back to the ER, the tinsel glinting like a lie, and I know I'm in too deep, but there's no turning back now. The hospital is a labyrinth now, its hallways twisting like veins, each corner hiding a piece of a puzzle I'm terrified to solve. It's December 23rd, and St. Mary's feels like it's holding its breath, waiting for me to break. I'm Ellie, a nurse who's spent years stitching up wounds, but Edward Harlan's words, "You remind me of her," cling to me like damp. Snow, heavy and cold, pulling me toward a truth I don't want to face. At home, I huddle over my laptop, the city's hum drowned by falling snow. A news clip loads. Lily Harlan, Edward's daughter, died here, in this hospital, under my care. I was a rookie then, green and overconfident, and her heart stopped while I fumbled, her eyes, so like mine, fading to nothing. The guilt crashes over me, a wave that steals my breath, and I see her face, clear as the day she died. Her lips parted like she wanted to say something I couldn't hear. I slam the laptop shut, but the truth is a splinter, lodged deep, and no amount of running, We'll pull it out. I confront Karen in the ER, my voice shaking, the tinsel above us glinting like a cruel reminder of Christmas. "Tell me about Harlan," I demand, and she flinches, admitting he vanished after Lily's death, blaming St. Mary's for breaking his world. Her eyes are tired, not angry, and I wonder if she carries her own ghosts. Outside, in the snow, I find him, his coat dusted white, and he says my name, Ellie, not from my badge but from somewhere deeper, like he's known me all along. My heart pounds, fear and need colliding. "You remind me of her," he says again, his voice cracking, and I see Lily in his eyes, a ghost binding us in this frozen moment. "Why?" I whisper, but he doesn't answer, his gaze heavy with grief and something else, recognition maybe, or regret. I want to scream, to demand answers, but my boots crunch in the snow, and I run, the line between helping and hurting blurring until it's gone. At home, I find Dad's watch on my nightstand, its hands frozen at 3:17, the exact time Lily's monitor flatlined. My breath catches, the room tilting. How did it get here? Did he leave it, or is something else at play? The snow outside falls, heavier, and I'm drowning in guilt, Harlan's truth pulling me under like a riptide. I'm not just a nurse anymore, I'm a keeper of secrets, and they're not all his. Lily's face, Dad's watch, Harlan's eyes, they're threads in a tapestry I can't unweave, and I'm terrified of what it'll reveal. The hospital looms in my mind, its tinsel a lie, and I wonder if I'm saving him or destroying myself. The truth is a weight I can't carry, but I can't let it go either. The ER hums with a quiet menace, but my mind is a hurricane, Edward Harlan's face lurking in every shadow. It's December 24th, and St. Mary's Hospital feels like a battlefield after the fight, the tinsel above my station glinting like shrapnel. I'm Ellie, a nurse who's spent years fixing what's broken, but now I'm chasing a truth that might shatter everything. My job, my heart, my fragile grip on who I am. I track down Marie, an old colleague, in a diner across town, her eyes heavy with years of hospital secrets. She tells me Harlan vowed to tear down St. Mary's after Lily's death, his grief a blade he sharpened into revenge. Her words land like a punch, and I see him differently now. Not just a drifter, but a man carrying a vendetta. In the hospital archives, I find a file hidden in a dusty corner. Harlan's plan to sell St. Mary's signed this week, my name circled in red ink like a target. My pulse races, the paper trembling in my hands. Why me? What does he want? In the cafeteria. I spot him, now a janitor, his mop moving in slow, deliberate strokes. His eyes meet mine, daring me to speak, and I do. My voice low. "You're Edward Harlan." He nods, his face unreadable, and says, "I'm testing this place, Ellie. Your kindness, it's why I haven't pulled the trigger." His words are a confession, heavy with intent, and I feel the ground shift beneath me. I confess my guilt over Lily, my voice breaking, expecting anger, but he places a hand on my shoulder, his silence a kind of absolution that burns more than forgiveness would. Karen overhears, her face twisting with panic, and she storms off, her heels clicking like a countdown. Hours later, the board calls me in, Karen's accusation, stalking a patient, ringing in my ears. They rip my badge away, suspending me, and I walk into the snow, the cold biting deeper than their words. The hospital looms behind me, its tinsel, a cruel lie, and I'm alone, the truth cutting like a blade. Harlan's plan, my name in red, Lily's death. They're pieces of a puzzle I'm terrified to complete, but I can't stop now. The snow falls heavier, and I'm bleeding from Marie's words, from Harlan's silence, from my own guilt. I'm not just a nurse anymore, I'm a hunter, chasing a truth that might destroy me. The hospital is a shadow in my mind, and I wonder if I'm fighting to save it or to burn it down with him. The Edge of truth is sharp, and I'm teetering, one step from falling. Suspension leaves me unmoored. The hospital's walls no longer mine to walk, their absence a weight heavier than grief. It's December 24th, and St. Mary's is a ghost in my mind, its tinsel a fading memory of hope. I'm Ellie, a nurse who's spent years stitching up wounds, but Edward Harlan's story is my shadow now, and I can't outrun it, no matter how hard I try. I sneak into the old wing with a key Sarah slipped me, her worried eyes lingering as I left. The halls are a tomb, dust swirling in my flashlight's beam, and I find Harlan amidst a scatter of papers, his coat tattered but his eyes sharp, like a man shedding a mask. "I've been auditing St. Mary's," he says, his voice steady, posing as a patient to test its heart. "Your kindness, Ellie. It's why I'm reconsidering selling." His words hit like a shockwave, and I see myself in that ER corner, bandaging his hand, not knowing I was saving more than a stranger. He leans closer, his voice dropping. "Your dad, Michael, worked here. He left you that watch to keep you fighting." My dad's name is a punch, and I see the watch in my mind, its hands frozen at Lily's death. Harlan knew him, saw his brokenness, and I feel their ghosts, Dad's, Lily's, pressing against me. My knees buckle, but I stay upright, clinging to the truth like a lifeline. Karen bursts in with security, her voice shrill. "She's trespassing!" But Harlan steps forward, his presence commanding. "I'm Edward Harlan." The guards freeze, and the board is called, their faces pale as Harlan's return upends their world. My suspension is lifted, but victory feels hollow, like ash in my mouth. He asks me to help rebuild St. Mary's, his eyes searching mine, but I hesitate. Can I trust a man who's lived as a ghost? The old wing's darkness presses in, and I'm at a crossroads, every path a leap into the unknown. I see Dad's watch, Harlan's wallet, Lily's face, and I wonder if I'm saving them or losing myself. The hospital looms outside, its tinsel a faint glow, and I'm unmasked too, my guilt and hope laid bare. I'm not just a nurse anymore. I'm a keeper of truths, and they're heavier than I ever imagined. The snow falls, and I'm standing in the dark, wondering if trust is a risk I can afford. St. Mary's buzzes with Harlan's return, the tinsel gleaming like it's finally earned its place. But Lily's death and my dad's absence weigh on me like stones. It's Christmas Eve, and the hospital feels alive, but hope is a fragile thing, easily crushed. I'm Ellie, a nurse who's spent years running from pain, but now I'm facing it, and it's tearing me open. At Lily's grave, I leave a single white rose, the snow dusting my boots as I whisper an apology, my voice breaking. I see her face, those eyes like mine, and the guilt is a blade, cutting deeper with every breath. Harlan finds me there, his coat still worn, his eyes heavy with shared grief. "We carry the dead with us," he says, his voice soft, and we talk, really talk, about loss, about the holes it leaves. He tells me Dad was his friend, broken by St. Mary's failures, and left to shield me from his pain. His words are a bridge across years of silence, and I feel Dad's absence less sharply, like a wound starting to heal. At home, I open Dad's watch, finding a letter tucked inside. "Ellie, I left to save you from my mistakes. Keep going." My tears fall, forgiveness seeping into the cracks of my heart. I meet Harlan in the ER, agreeing to help him, but only if we build a clinic for the forgotten, named for Lily. He nods, his eyes glistening, and I feel her presence, a ghost finally at rest. Karen finds me later, her eyes red, and admits she feared losing her job, her vulnerability a mirror to my own. I nod, seeing her not as an enemy but as someone carrying her own scars. A new patient, another drifter, arrives, his eyes hollow, and I hesitate, my heart raw from giving too much. The tinsel above glints, and I realize healing means facing the pain, not burying it. I'm not just a nurse anymore. I'm a bridge between the broken and the hopeful, and it's a heavy load, but I'm carrying it. The snow falls outside, and I'm ready to face the ghosts, mine and theirs, one step at a time. Christmas Eve dawns, and St. Mary's breathes again, the tinsel glowing with a warmth I haven't felt in years. The hospital is alive, its pulse steady, but I'm still Ellie, still broken, still whole. I've spent years stitching wounds, but today, I'm stitching something bigger: hope, redemption, a future I didn't dare imagine. Harlan stands in the ER, announcing Lily's clinic, his voice steady as the crowd claps. I weep, feeling her presence in the air, a ghost finally at peace. I care for a new patient, another drifter. My hands steady now, each stitch a choice to keep going, to keep caring. Sarah throws a Christmas party at our apartment, and I invite Harlan. His smile, small but real, feels like a gift I didn't know I needed. I read Dad's letter again, his words. Keep going. A bridge across the years, and I forgive him, forgive myself, the weight lifting like snow melting in spring. The sea. Board votes to save St. Mary's, offering me the clinic's leadership, a chance to rebuild what broke us. In the ER, I touch the tinsel, and hope sparks, fragile but fierce, like a flame in the dark. Harlan hands me his wallet, the E faded but eternal, and says, "You gave me back my heart, Ellie." His words land like a promise, and I feel whole, even with the cracks. But my phone buzzes, a text from an unknown number. "You're not done yet." My pulse races. What's still out there, waiting in the shadows? This is our story: compassion, secrets, redemption. If it stirred your heart, if you've found light in your darkest moments, share your story in the comments and subscribe to carry this hope forward. Because the people we save sometimes save us back, and I'm ready to find out what's next.